Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hello. Um, I'm just here to come in and say hi to everybody and to have some coffee with y'all and to say thank you for helping my channel hit 1,000 subscribers. This is big for me. I've been making videos on and off for 3 years now, I think, and I'm just so excited to finally be able to, go to the next level with my channel and do more things with you guys. And I know that it's kind of early here in the US. It's around 7 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, if you're around the world, just tell me where you're from and what you're up to and what you're drinking. I'm drinking some coffee. And I just want to come in here and talk with you guys for a little bit and spend some time with you and catch up on some things that I've been up to and what my plans for 2022 are and what you're going to probably expect from my channel. And I will be posting this, keeping this video up, so if you don't see it now, you can watch it later whenever you get a chance, because I know that the time difference for everybody and stuff like that. And yeah, I do plan on doing more lives. I prefer doing lives. I was doing lives in, sorry, my cats are playing around, going up and down the stairs and stuff like that. So if that's what you hear, that's what it is. My cat's messing around. But yeah, I like doing lives. Lives are easier for me, and I like to interact with people. I like to be able to answer questions as they come up. But before I get too far into this, I do want to take a moment to go light my candles and my incense, because I totally forgot to do that before I started to go live. But that's okay. We can do it together. You can just walk over. And as you can see, I've rearranged my witchy space again. So if you're interested in a full room tour or something in the future, just let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. But yeah, I'm just going to go over here and light a couple of my candles. Get some incense going up in this place. Yes, because I feel like we need some. Yes. Okay, so got some candles on, got the incense going. I'm burning some cedar pine, I think, or it's cedar and pine or something like that. It was a nice woodsy scent that I picked up for only a couple bucks. But yeah, so as you can see, I did rearrange my space, and I have a couple way different setup than what I've ever had before, and I've been really enjoying it. The way that it is right now, it's so much more, I got a lot more open space, and I have my big circle altar right here in the middle, and I have well, I guess right here is like one of my altars that I picked up this circle, like small little circle table. It's not really like an end table, it's kind of different, but I found that at Goodwill for like $5 or something like that, and I did all the painting on it. I painted it black and white, and it's got moon phases and the Theban alphabet and elemental symbols and zodiac symbols and stuff like that all over it, so it's super magical and I love it. And then over here is that really long, it's like a side table or something that you would put an aquarium on. I don't know. It's just a really long, thin side table that I've had for a long time that I've used for in down here on and off through, rearranging it and stuff and putting in different places. So you've seen that before. But that big round mirror that's sitting on there, I found that next to the dumpster. It's funny because I live in an apartment complex, all right? And, it's like townhouses, but the apartments across from me, these people moved out and they got rid of a bunch of their furniture, and I'm not like big on jumping into the dumpster or whatever. Like, I've done it a few times if it's like really nice. And that's one of those things. I saw that mirror and I was just like, oh my gosh, that is such a beautiful mirror. It must have went to like a dresser or something. The dresser wasn't out there, but the mirror was. And so I grabbed it, and it's super heavy. I had to get my husband to help me carry it home from down the parking lot. And but I did cleanse it and blessed it just in case there was any like weird juju on it or whatever. But now I have it on here and I absolutely love it. It works so perfect for that table, and it's just perfect. I love it. And that other mirror was actually upstairs in my bathroom. I had like that mirror and a couple other mirrors in my bathroom, but then I kind of was rearranging some stuff up there, and then I decided to bring it down here and put it over that one. And so now I got double mirror action going on. And, I flanked it with my two bookshelves. Well, this is like my bookshelf, and then that's like my herbal shelf. One on each side, as you can, if I turn the camera a little bit, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So that's what it looks like with my books and my herbs and my altar in the middle. And I have it all decorated for Yule right now. And then over here, I have my other stands. And I mean, like I said, I could do a big full room tour if that's something that you guys are interested in seeing. But right now, I just wanted to come and say hi, like I said. And some of the things that I've been working on a lot lately is like, I've been working on making junk journal type books. This is one that I made for my husband. I made two of this one. I made one it's not fully completed yet, but I am working on it to sell. But he loved it so much, and I did the stitching and stuff to sew the pages in. It's all hand dyed, and it's got a lot of stuff in it, but I ended up making him the same one because he loved it so much. But yeah, it's really fun making these. And I got like a collection of 5 different styled ones that when they're completed, I do plan on sharing them with you guys and doing like a walkthrough of the journals that I've been making, and then I'm going to post them up on my store, and so that they can be bought. And I'm also working on writing a book. I've been saying this for years, but it is something that, I've always knew that I was going to write a book, or books, as I could say. They're in there, they're inside of me. It's something that I've always wanted to do, is to be an author. And it's just been kind of a struggle for me for a long time, because like, to get the idea out, if you're not somebody who has ever wanted to write a book, but I think everybody knows that, saying that you're going to write a book and actually writing the book are two different things, and that's something that I've struggled with for a long time. But I've actually been working on the book, and I'm so excited about it, and it's just something that I can't wait to finally get it done. I'm not making any promises as to when it's going to be done, because there's still a lot of work left to do with writing it. I'm about halfway with getting like the first, I guess you could say the first draft, the first draft written out, and then I'm going to have to do a lot of editing and proofreading, and then I'm going to have to, do the whole find an agent and find a publisher. My cats are really going wild. They're just down here having fun, messing around with everything. They're playing with each other. So it's like, I know that there's still a lot of journey left to do with the book, but I'm really excited about it because I finally have the story. Like, it's like I got the story. And it is it's a fiction book. It's a story. It's not, a how-to book. Though I do plan on writing one of these days too. I want to write a witchy book or whatever, but I don't want it to be like, one of those basic, beginner witch books. I mean, they sell, but it's just oversaturated, and so I need to figure out my niche in what it is that I want to write about, and my style, and how I'm going to set myself apart different from all the other witchy authors out there, and really put myself out there in a way that's different but fun and readable, but something that's going to give people quality, information. And it's funny because when you've been practicing magic for 18 years, been a witch for 18 years like I have, or even longer, sometimes you think that things are just like, oh, well, everybody knows that. And then you got to remind yourself, no, not everybody knows that, So it's the remembering that, there is a place for beginner books out there, and there's nothing wrong with them. I love beginner books, but also, there's nothing wrong with having more. We need more books that don't have so much beginner information in it. It would be better for more advanced stuff too, but then that also means finding a niche, and so that's what I've been working on too, is kind of like finding my niche in that, and what I can bring to the community in a way that hasn't been done before, or in a way that's unique to me and my style. And yeah, I love books. I love reading books, I love writing books, and I love making books from scratch. And speaking of books, I did want to say that my Book of Shadows update video that I posted like almost, 5 months ago or something like that, 6 months ago? I can't remember exactly how many months ago it was, but my Book of Shadows update video that I posted has 20,000 views on it, and it blows my absolute mind that many people has watched that video. I cannot believe it. I mean, if you look at my stats on my channel of, my normal average amount of views, like, there are a couple videos that I made that have had a few thousand views on them, but most of them usually get around a couple hundred, and some of my older ones don't even have that, So to get 20,000 views on a single video, and to get so many amazing compliments, and everybody saying how much they love it and how much it inspires them, and like, just, I can't even describe the feeling of it, and it really makes me want to cry, because it's like, I really do put my heart and soul into making it, and it's still, it's not finished. I mean, but it's a Book of Shadows. It's not like writing a fiction novel or something like that. It's my journey. It's my spiritual journey. It's my magical book. It's my magical journey. And so, to say, oh, when is it going to be done, or when is it going to be ready for another update? I don't know. I mean, right now I kind of don't feel like it's ready for an update, because I don't think that I have enough new stuff to show. Because if I'm going to show it again, I would want it to have more progress in it, but then at the same time, I'm not trying to rush myself into like filling it out just so that I can share it with YouTube, especially since it's only been a few months and I'm working on so many other projects and things like that. And I don't want my Book of Shadows to have that kind of energy in it, but I do get a lot of questions about it on that video. Everybody's always asking me, you know, where did I get my book? Like and then to me that's a funny question because I thought that I had mentioned in the video that I had made the book. I made that book from scratch, and it's called a postbound book, and there are lots of other videos on YouTube that have a much better tutorial on how to make a postbound book from scratch. If that's something that you want to do, like what I did, I just looked up how to make a postbound book and followed a tutorial and made it myself. And it's not as hard as people think it is. I mean, it just takes a few basic materials like cardstock or wood for the covers and the spine, and then some people do paper like I did, like the scrapbook paper, and then you glue it on around it. Or some people use fabric, some people use leather or vegan leather. Like, you can cover your book however you want to cover it. And then there's a step for the inside for those screws to go into, and then you pretty much just you follow the instructions of the tutorial to make the book. And then it's just putting pages in it and filling it out after that. And yeah, I have divider pages, and I just did that by cutting the craft paper down to the size that it needed to be. I did it standard computer paper size, that 8.5 by 11, and just punch holes in it, put a little tab on it, and made dividers and divided my book up how I wanted to divide it up, because when it's your spiritual, magical Book of Shadows, or the journey that you're on, your subjects that you study or the things that you want to be put in your book are going to probably be different than what I put in mine, and that's okay. It's about the journey, and I just like the style of book because I have over here like 3 or 4 other books that I've started as Book of Shadows that I just bought journals and wrote in it or whatever. And I like it, but I don't, because when I evolve and I change and I want to do something different or new, or I learn something and it's out of order, I'm the type of person where I like things to be in order. So postbound works for me because then I can just unscrew it and take it out and put in new information or change the order of things, or there have been a few times where like I wrote out all the information, but then later on down the road I'm like, it's not that I don't like the information, I just want to redo the style. I just want it to look different or feel different. I want more design to it, or maybe I just want it to be different, and so I take out the old page and make a new page. Or like I have done a couple times where like I wrote out a ritual for, say, the full moon and the new moon. I like, oh, this is what my ritual is going to be, and I've done it a few times, and then I've decided, I like it, but I want to change it because it wasn't exactly the way I wanted it to be, or I want to try something new. And so I rewrite the ritual and update that, if that makes sense. It's so easy and for me to be able to do that. And on top of it, call me crazy, but I actually have this one here. I made this book, like the cover, I made the cover of it, and I had pages inside of it, but I didn't bind them. And it was supposed to be kind of like a Book of Shadows, but it was journaly. It ended up being a journal. Ooh, it's so pretty. Yes, I made this like few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, before the big book of shadows that I have over there, the one that everybody likes, this one. And I ended up not liking what I did with the inside, and so I ended up making all new coffee. Well, I did coffee dyed paper. I have purple dyed paper where the pages come out purple. Like here, I'll show you a page right here where the pages come out more purple. And then if you use black food coloring, which this is kind of funny, if you use black food coloring in your water and you put a bunch in there and you dye the paper in that, it actually comes out like a rose color. It's not black, it does, or gray. It actually comes out almost like a rosy color, like a mauve rose. So I don't know what exactly that's all about. It's probably just like whatever that they use to make the color black. It actually comes out more of a rose. So I got 3 different types of dyed paper that I had sewed. I used embroidery floss to sew the pages in, and I started redoing this one too. And this one's it's still a book of shadows, but it's a completely different vibe, and I really don't want to share what's going on inside this one. This one is really private. It's just got a way different vibe, and I feel like there are some things in your spiritual practice that you should just keep to yourself. And that's what this one is. This one is the one that I'm just going to keep to myself. I really love it. And it just has a completely different vibe to it than the other one does. The other one feels very textbook. The other one feels very like, like a manual almost. This one feels a lot more expressive and a lot more deeper. It has poems in it. It has pictures in it. It has, journal entries in it. And it has, just some things that you just don't want to share with other people. And, you don't even have to share any of it with anybody if you don't want to. Because I have had a couple people say, oh, well, you shouldn't share your book of shadows online. Well, that's true if the information that you're sharing you don't want to share, but a lot of the information that's in that book, in my big book of shadows that you've seen before, I don't feel bad sharing that information because honestly, that information is already out there. You just have to go find it. That's stuff that I've gotten out of other books or other sources that's already public and available, and I've just collected it and put it in there for my own personal use. And some of it I have written in my own words, but it's not like you can't go look up the 5 elements, or you can't look up, the chakras, or you can't look up, the zodiac signs, or you can't look up, these are things that you can find easily. And so it's not like I'm saying that my book of shadows has something in it that, is private, unlike this one, which does have stuff in it that's private, and that's why I'm not sharing it. So the reason why I wanted to share it was because I had a lot of fun making it. I am having a lot of fun making it. I'm really trying a lot of different techniques of art, and, as I learn more art styles, or writing styles, or however, I'm putting it in there, and it's like really just prettying up the information that I already know, and just to make it nice, because I want it to be nice. I want it to be organized, and I want it to look nice. And I kind of feel like, I like going online and seeing other people's books of shadows. I like going online and watching, junk journal tutorials and things like that, and or like people like Molly Roberts, which I'm sure a lot of you may know who she is, the art witch. Her book of shadows, or her journals, or whatever she wants to call them, they're just so gorgeous. I love how expressive she is in there, and I love seeing everybody's different styles of art, and it pushes me to want to be a better artist. Honestly, I want to be a better artist. I want to, have a book that not only is useful and is full of good information for me, but is also something that I like to look at, and not just be words on a piece of paper. And it's fun for me, and I want to share it with you guys because I want you guys to be inspired too, because art is such a big part of my life, and writing is such a big part of my life, and creating things, and it's a big part of my magic, like what I do magically is that kind of stuff. It's not that I don't do a bunch of complicated stuff. It's just I like beauty. I like aesthetic. And I know that that's a big topic for some people, and I have my own opinions on it. I can talk about that some other time. I don't want to get into it right now, but I do appreciate aesthetic. I do like, things to look a certain way and feel a certain way, and I'm not trying to be an Instagram witch, but I want my space to feel good. I want my space to feel beautiful when I come into it. I want to be surrounded by beautiful things. So that's how I am. And that's part of what is I'm going to be trying out doing more of going into, like what I'm going to be doing here in the future for like 2022, what I plan on doing for the channel. I guess I can say I do have some ideas, and I'm horrible at planning, but I'm trying to be better at it. I'm trying to be better at planning. Can I ask a question? Yes, ask a question. You can definitely ask a question. I am planning on doing some plan with me's in bullet journaling. I have been doing it in my own. This is my old one. This one's pretty much full, and I like bullet journaling. I'm not into the whole like doing a full painting or whatever inside my bullet journal. I'm very functional with my bullet journal. I don't mind drawing a few pictures in there, but even though I am like an artist and stuff like that, but when it comes to planning is something that I really need to work on, and sticking to the plan and actually like executing things that I say that I need to do. Then what is the best way to communicate and get to know yourself in the spirit world? I feel like, where did the question go? Okay, there we go. I feel like I have some kind of connection to the whole issue because of some experiences I had. Communicating in the spirit world, that's what you're asking? Honestly, I don't really do a lot of communicating in the spirit world, like if you mean like ghosts and stuff like that. My kind of communicating in the spirit world that I do is more with deities. My god and my goddess, or the god and the goddess are one, the source. I do a lot of spiritual work with my deities, and I do a lot of spiritual work with like my spirit guides, like my very close spirit guides that I have, and a little bit of ancestor work, which mainly pertains to my grandmother. She is really one of the main ancestors that I work with. She's so important to me, and I know she's around me. I know. But like communicating, the most I really do is just through prayer, meditation, and using pendulums, and every once in a while I mess around with my dowsing rods. I mean, like, I love going ghost hunting, but I've only done it a few times. I like the idea of it, but I also know that I don't want to like mess around with that too much. But I just say that, like, if you open yourself up to working with spirits, no matter what kind it is, you should be very specific. You should say, this is who I'm working with, and this is who I'm calling into my space. I'm calling in the elements, the elemental spirits, or I'm calling in my deity, or I'm calling in my grandmother. I feel like you should be very specific and say out loud, anybody else other than that can go away. You know, put up your shield and only invite in who you want to work with. And make sure that you know that that's who you're working with. And to ward off anybody else, any other spirits that you are not wanting to work with directly, to make it very clear that you're not here for them and that they need to go away. I feel like if you open up a doorway to the other side, that it's so easy to turn yourself into a beacon, especially if you're a magical person. If you're a magical person, you automatically make yourself more attractive to spirits, you know? So it's important to keep up your wards, you know? And like, I got a mirror, I got double mirror going on right here. Each mirror can be used as a portal, which I do, but I set up my protections for them so that, you know, the way that I work with my mirrors. And that's a whole nother type of video, is how to work with mirrors correctly, you know, and there's a lot of information about that you can find, how to seal them and protect them, and how to open them properly and things like that. But I have my wards. I definitely do have my wards, and I don't allow anything into my space that I did not invite. And if I find anything in my space that I did not invite, I immediately banish them. I immediately remove them from my space. And it's not hard. It's not hard to remove them. You just have to catch it right when it happens and put your foot down and be like, no, go. You know, bang. I like to bang on my bowls, and I like to tell them straight on, get out. You're not invited here. You're not welcome here. Get out. I did not ask you. Leave now. You know, and if it's darker energy and it's heavier energy and it's persistent, you know, you might have to get extra help with that. But pretty much, you know, you have to be the boss of your own space. Be the boss of your own self and be the boss of your own space, and not let spirits, you know, rule the roost. You're the one that controls what happens in your space, not them. You know your power, know your strength. If that answers your question, I hope that answered your question. Working with spirits is a big thing. But yeah, excuse me. Anyway, I do, like I was trying to say, I do plan on doing some plan with me's so that I can try something new. I want to try and push myself with certain kinds of content, and I feel like the planning would be really fun. It's a booky thing, it's an artsy thing, it's a planny thing, and I feel like it would be fun, and it might help also keep me on track with doing things. And another thing that I want to do is I do want to start doing more, now that I can go live, which I'm super excited about, more circles. I want to do more, you know, circles for the moons, or maybe even the Sabbats. I haven't decided if I'm going to do everything every time. Like if it, you know, there's 12 to 13 new moons or 12 to 13 full moons a year, and plus, you know, 8 Sabbats and plus everything else. Okay, so if I miss one or a few, you know, don't hold a gun to my head about it. You know, it's I'm going to do the best that I can to be here for you guys live at least a couple times a month when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it's not going to be like super elaborate or anything like that, but I do want to do some more spiritual work like that and offer a sacred space for the new moons and the full moons especially. It's just, I also have my own coven that I also have to be, you know, present for as well. And obviously that's private. So I don't want to stretch myself too thin because I am also working a full-time job and I have a family and I'm homeschooling my daughter. So I'm trying really hard to be for everybody as much as I can, but I also have to be for myself as well. So it's like I have goals, but I also don't want to stretch myself to the point to where I can't sleep or eat or take a shower or take a nap or something like that if I need one. um, I believe in keeping a balance in life. It's good to be productive. It's good to have goals. It's good to have something to keep you busy, but then it's also good to take downtime. It's also good to relax and watch a movie with your family or play a game and have dinner and take a shower and put on your moisturizer and brush your teeth. So keeping a balance has always been something that I've struggled with, but I have gotten a lot better at, and it's part of building up those boundaries. And even though I'm excited to be here more for you guys, I also want to remember to be here for myself as well. Maybe that would be a good example that I can set. I want to be a good YouTuber and I want to succeed at a lot of things, but I also want to be able to enjoy my life too. I want to be able to live and have fun and not just be um, worked to the bone all the time, because that's what I tend to do a lot. I tend to overwork myself. And I'm a night person, so don't be surprised if my lives are late or super early, because that's my prime time. Even though I'm in the US, a lot of people like to do lives in the middle of the day. I'm probably sleeping then. So yeah. If anybody else has any more questions, I'm open to answering them while I'm here. I'm already been here for 36 minutes. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. I'm just so excited. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to finally get to 1,000 subscribers. And I still, every time I think about that Book of Shadows video and go, oh my God, there's 20,000 views on it, it just blows my mind. I can't even believe that many people liked my book. And it's so amazing. And I can't wait to bring more of that kind of stuff to you guys. I want to be more creative, and I would love to be able to do this full time. You know what I mean? Not the YouTuber thing necessarily, but like to be full time, writer, full time artist, full time witch. But I haven't quite got there yet. But I believe that I will be one of these days. I will be full time me and not having to work full time for someone else in order to pay my bills. I believe that it will happen for me one of these days. And it's just now starting to get there, and it's all because of you guys, and I really appreciate it, and it's awesome. Any other comments? Oh, is my comment thing not coming up? Why is my comments not coming up? Yes. All right. I'm still getting used to, I'm not used to going live on YouTube. Usually I only do it on Facebook. It would be fun to be able to figure out how to do both at the same time. I know there's a way to do it, but I got to figure it out, because I do have a Facebook group as well. It's called the Sanctuary of Amethyst Moonflower, if you're interested. I can probably put it in the comments after I post this video later. I'll put it in the description or the comments or something. But I do have a Facebook group, and I'm trying to be more active in there. But being able to do this and Facebook at the same time, that would be such a time saver, because then I wouldn't have to do the same thing twice. All right, so I think that for now I've probably rambled on long enough and kept you guys here for quite some time. I'm not planning on being here all afternoon or all morning, I should say. Why am I still saying afternoon? But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go, and I will be bringing in more videos here very soon. I don't know if they're going to be lives or not. They could be, but either way, I am going to be bringing in new stuff for you guys, and I'm super excited. I'm super blessed, and I'm super grateful for everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a great one. Now if only I can figure out how to turn this off.